Alrighty, welcome back to Forgotten Legends of Sound, and today is going to be my pick, and we are going to do Falconer, the self-titled album. So, anyways, yeah, I've been wanting to do a power metal album for a little while. It's been a little bit. I think the last one we did was, I think maybe Manticora. I think might have been the last one. So it's been a little while, but the reason why that I wanted to do these guys is because they're kind of one of those bands that, like, honestly, a lot of people kind of respect. I don't feel like they're super unknown or anything like that, but a lot of people really respect Falconer. But at the same time, they're never really like this first string band.
It's never like talked about when people talk about power metal. Mm-hmm. It's always Nightwish, Blind Guardian, the usual Rhapsody.
Right. They're just for whatever reason they were never big enough to be the Stradivarius, Halloween, and like the first tier bands, you know. But Falconer, I feel like, was a band that were very unique and had their own thing, and I feel like Matthias Blad just really made Falconer shine, you know. Yeah. I remember getting into Falconer sometime around that 2004, 2005 area because we had like a couple of songs off this album, their second album, like third album and fourth album. Yeah. And I think like I think you downloaded them off of
I think I could get like 2 songs per album. Mm-hmm. Like on this one it was like 1 and 5. I don't remember. It was like Clarion Call and another one.
Enter the Glade, track 2, and then
Child of Innocence and something. I don't
Humanity
know.
Overdose. Maybe,
it was like
something like that. But like, anyways, and
that's the thing about those early days. In the early days of like metal that you can't find at like a store or something. And the internet was still like kind of young, you know. You could only kind of get a few songs. There was like LimeWire. If you tried to get some of this stuff, like LimeWire would be like there'd be like 1-seater person for like some power metal whatever kind of band, you know. So it just wasn't a very like known genre or like there just wasn't like a big scene of this in like the early 2000s at this time. So.
And I remember, so the very first album we got from these guys, I actually found a Falconer CD inside of a store, and it was the Grime vs. Grandeur album, and I picked that album up, and I picked up Rhapsody, Symphony of Enchanted Lands Part 2. And I remember, like, we were supposed to go, like, to the movies or something afterwards, but I, like, picked them up, and I was like, oh, man, yeah, this looks so cool and stuff, you know. But, I mean, I like that era with that other vocalist for the third album and fourth album. Some people really hate those 2 albums. Yeah. I enjoy them, but I don't think they're nearly as strong as, like...
The Blad albums.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like the first 2, and I really like Among Beggars and Thieves, and, but... Anyway, so I was kind of torn on what Falconer album to do because I wanted to do either their second album or their 6th album or something. But I was like, you know what? Let's just do a tried and true, the self-titled album, and let's just have fun with it. So, anyways, that's kind of my intro for Falconer, just kind of doing this album for fun. I guess I'll turn it to the expert, Ian, to explain a little bit of Falconer history, if you will.
All right, make sure you're comfortable. So I was just reading here like 5 minutes ago with Chad, and we were just reading a little bit of their history. So they're a Swedish band. I guess Stefan Weinerhall, I don't know how to pronounce these names. I guess
Karsten
Larsson, yeah. So Stefan was like, he wanted to keep doing metal, and like his other band Mythodin like broke up or whatever. So then he was like, oh, I want to do like metal but with like a clean vocalist, and he like made some demos. And it was interesting because like the other day I remember looking up Karsten Larsson, and I've never listened to Mythodin. Like I've never listened to that band before, but I guess they're kind of like Viking metal or black metal kind of stuff. But I did listen to Dawn. And Karsten Larsson was the drummer for Dawn, which was like kind of a black metal band from the 90s. They only had 2 albums and 1 EP, but kind of a cool band. Yeah. So it's interesting how you've got 2 of these guys who are like straight up from these black metal backgrounds, and then suddenly they're making like a folk power metal album.
Let's do some power metal.
Yeah, So anyways, I think that might be kind of interesting, and that probably influences their songwriting a little bit.
And I'm pretty sure like Matthias Blad, his vocals and stuff, I think he was like he sung for like the Broadway of Sweden. You know what I mean? Like whatever they call it in Sweden, but he was like a stage singer guy. And so that's kind of cool.
And the dude's got a great voice. Like he's he
because I used to tell people, like, especially people who were not into metal music, I'd be like, look, Roy Khan, opera singer, you know, and I'd try to get people into like
just to give it more clout.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, just
like,
to give it more clout.
Like,
there'd be like this, you know, person who plays like the, you know, violin or cello, and I'm like, you know, Roy Khan. Because he used to study opera and stuff.
The reason why we did that is I remember in the early 2000s, everyone was saying it doesn't take any skill. Metal's just like screaming, you know, and they're just like, it's just a bunch of screaming. It's just like no talent and stuff. And so we were just kind of like, I don't know what metal you've been listening to, but like a lot of the metal that either has screaming or doesn't have screaming, like when someone said something like that, we just knew right off the bat that they didn't really know a lot about the genre, and they didn't know how wide and expansive it was, you know. So then we would try to be smart and be like, well, you see, you know, actually, Falconer, he's a stage singer. So, yeah. No wonder people hated us in high school.
But when I think of Falconer, though, I don't think of them as like the jolly choral kind of singing stuff, like especially in the 2010s and stuff with like Sabaton and stuff. There's the kind of choruses.
So it's not like anthemic and
yeah, it's very much like a lead guy singing. You know, it doesn't. I mean, sure, they've got their songs that are a little bit more sing-songy and stuff. But like I would think
to the
of
level that power metal would suddenly become later on.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so to me, Falconer was just like very melodic, strong lead guitars and like fast drumming, and just kind of like let Matthews just go. You know, let him just kind of soar and sing and whatever. You know, they don't use a lot of like keyboards or anything like that. So you got some power metal that's very keyboard, some like neoclassical, some, you know, very like whatever, but there are some folk elements with them, but I don't think it's like super strong. Like it's like, I think it's like power metal, but then like folk.
It's almost like, you know, I feel like this is a power metal band with folk elements. Right. Elven King is like a folk metal band with power metal elements.
Right.
You know, like I kind of feel like that's kind of how I describe it.
Like lyrically, what are we getting into?
So they do sing a lot about like historical times, medieval times,
Swedish history and stuff.
Yeah, there is a lot of like Swedish history, Swedish stories and things. Like they've got this one song about like
trolls and stuff.
Yeah,
like Troll Hunter. I mean, like troll. You know. Well, they have this one song about like a fight between like some ship guy versus another ship guy, and like I can't remember exactly how the lyrics go, but it's not like they're full on Sabaton historical whatever. It's a little different, like
more mythology based and
maybe I don't know if they're really
history based, but not always about war.
Yeah, exactly. Not always about war, but they do sing a lot about kingdoms and, you know, this and that. I think maybe for some people it might be a little bit like not their shtick, you know what I mean, lyrically. But I don't know, it works fine for me, you know. So I don't know. I think Falconer with their lyrics, maybe for some people, if you've heard one Falconer album, then you know lyrically what the rest of their albums are going to be. They don't deviate from the lyrical topics too much, you know. But yeah, I think they do a pretty good job.
You talk about superstitions, you know, like this person's a witch.
Yeah.
You know, and like medieval kind of,
sign of the
they
times.
talk about some of those.
Yeah. We did go through the second album with you like 3 years ago or something, so it was a while ago.
I was gonna say, have I heard these guys? Or
right.
I guess you guys have probably played them before. So
yeah, we went through their second album. I don't remember it really like hitting you that hard and everything. I don't think we've ever gone through this album though with you, you know. So this might be a little bit new for you, but I guess, did you want to share anything before we jump into the songs? Just kind of.
I got nothing else.
Yeah. Just kind of along for the ride and just yeah.
Cool.
Well, let's just go ahead and start this then.
Alrighty. So the first song is Upon the Grave of Guilt, and we're just going to jump right into it. And we're going to rate it like we always do. Alright, here it goes. Here's Upon the Grave of Guilt.
What I left behind, letting my conscience unchain no more.
This is the extent of like sing-songiness that they get to, I think.
Dark recollections gnaw my inside. I tried to run and I tried to hide, reaching the barrel of my memories to lay the final stone upon the grave, searching inner kingdoms for control to put the lid of oblivion upon the grave of guilt. Whoa.
That's the thing. I like a lot of their acoustic guitar moments and stuff.
That's like a cool way to end it.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin.
Yeah, I'll go first. 10. I mean, I'm a little biased though because like this is one of the early songs that I heard from them, and I just
Yeah.
remember being blown away and being like, oh man, and it's just like it just felt so fresh and original, and I was just really digging the every time the vocalist would go out and then the guitar comes back in, you know.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, and there's a little
That's
bit of
probably
like
the only part that stuck out for me though.
Those lead guitars.
Yeah.
there's a bit of a heavy metal feel too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's not super neoclassically. It's
They've heard of Iron Maiden.
yeah, right, yeah. You know, but I don't have much to add. I think everyone does a great job. You know, when I first heard him go like whoa, 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 you know, and then it like, you know, I was just like, okay, you know, like it kind of threw me off when I first heard that. Now I'm just like, there he goes doing his thing. So, anyways, I like that song. Yeah.
7.5, guys. Like, besides that lead guitar part, like it just kind of, I don't know, the voice, like I just, like that's the thing. Like it's like, dude, there's so much talent in the music, in the singing, but it just doesn't do what I want it to do.
Yeah, it's
Like-
not your thing.
Yeah, 7.5. Still good, but
Yeah, but you're not blasting it in the room like on your own or anything. Yeah. I give it a 10, but a part of me does feel like I'm a little bit biased as well because I feel like if I heard that song today, it would not really blow me away that much, you know, because I've heard so much power metal and whatnot, and it does seem kind of like a traditional kind of power metal song, but I feel like there's a little bit of nostalgia with it, you know, and I do like his voice, I like the guitar stuff, and I like the outro bit. But I feel like it's a generous 10.
a little acoustic outro was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that outro bit. I think it's cool. I think the lyrics are cool too. You know, ain't talking about dragons and stuff. They're just going on about like guilt and whatnot and trying to like
And,
put a lid. Yeah, not
yeah,
you know, it's just like you know.
Upon the grave of guilt, like, you know, so he's trying to, you know, seal the lid of oblivion upon my guilt and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, oh, here's my inevitable end and stuff, and you know, I don't know.
and like my future's dying as my present dies. That like, you know, yeah. It's funny because we're like,
Dark
you know,
Regulations.
talking about the times and stuff, and then this is really actually a pretty introspective song, you know.
Yeah,
But
it's not that I hate, you know, fantasy stuff and power metal and stuff, but it's just been done so much that the more I hear it, the more I'm just like, it doesn't do much for me. I mean,
yeah.
it's awesome when Blind Guardian does it. It's awesome when, I mean, there's so many bands that I like that do the fantasy lyrics and they're cool, But man, I have this need or yearning for power metal to break out of like its stipulations, its mold. Yeah. And I don't think anybody in power metal these days wants to break out of the mode. I think everybody's fine with, we just want anthemic, happy choruses with guitars soloing craziness, you know? And I get that. That stuff is really fun. But I've been hearing that stuff for like 20 years, and I want power metal bands these days to kind of break
the envelope.
Yeah, push the envelope, do something more different. Don't just give in to the tropes just because the tropes were cool, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know. But I like this song. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like metal genres that like, especially newer bands coming out where they're like, no, we have to celebrate the sound of the time. You know what I mean? You've got a resurgence of like the new wave of British heavy metal stuff. You've got a resurgence of thrash metal.
Dude, thrash and
power
metal.
metal.
Death metal, like it's insane how many new bands are sounding just like the old stuff. But to me, I'm digging that crap. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But even guys that are like, you know, okay, we're gonna record it this way to make us sound like it came out in '89 or whatever, you know. But there is, even with power metal, there's people who are like, no, we gotta celebrate power metal, so we gotta sound like, you know. So.
And it's like when bands do, like I still like retro sounds, you know. I still enjoy bands doing retro sounds, but at the same time, I could only hear so much of the same stuff going, but until I finally kind of just want something different.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Falconer's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You guys ready for the next track?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty, here is Heresy in Disguise.
See, this sounds like heavy metal.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah. They use heavy metal.
Heavy drums.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Behind the dark walls, dark secrets hide in the shadows. An evil presence in the fortress of light. In the fortress
Heresy in Disguise.
darkness is falling as the spirit of God slips away. You're the sinner by night and the holy saint by day.
A little falsetto there?
Lurking among the shadows of the street.
This reminds me of like Judas Priest or something, you know?
Heresy in disguise. Heresy in disguise. His eyes glow like fire as he turns the ancient pages. Discovering mysteries not revealed in many ages. Not revealed in many ages. Brother William, brother of sin, what do you do as the sun descends?
Yo, Brother William, he upped us up.
As you open the door to the beast. In the sacred corridors, evil is every lurking among the shadows of the monastery.
Sneaky you, that monastery, man.
I forgot. Like, yeah, they do sing a lot about like church corruption, like you know the dark
religious
ages,
persecution. And
yeah,
stuff.
you know inquisitions and all that stuff. I was as it was going out lyrically, I was like, oh yeah, no, I forgot they do a lot of this stuff. So, anyways, all right, Chad.
I was actually digging that one more than the first song.
Yeah.
Can you change 1 to 7?
Sure.
Yeah.
No.
I think I'm gonna give that one an 8. I really like the old school heavy metal vibe.
Yeah. Kind of more riffy, you know.
Yeah, just sick. And his voice, it's grown on me as it goes. We'll see what happens by the end of the album.
Yeah.
Some parts I'm like, that's a little weird, but I'm still digging it. I'm gonna go with 8 on that one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go at 8 as well. I really like that song. That's a song that it seems like people really love though. Like I've read on the internet and everyone's just like, yeah, Ever Seen the Skies, and I do like it. I do enjoy it, but I've never loved it. Like I think it's kind of either in the middle of this album as far as favorites, somewhere in the middle, or to the lesser favorite songs on the album. But I think it's still a good song. It's a cool riff and stuff. But I like traditional metal stuff. Like I like traditional heavy metal bands and stuff. But it's definitely not my bread and butter. You know.
You mean that?
And then they're just like, you know.
Yeah. You mean that didn't like quite get you going?
No, not even a little bit. Didn't quite get me. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so I don't know. Evil's at the monastery.
Yeah.
What do you say, Kevin?
I will say I do like that bridge. The way he's just like Evil's at the monastery, and then it goes right back
The way it
into
leads in
that.
that
The way
riff.
I like that bridge. I think the thing, like, I'll give this song a 9. I do like this song. Every time it goes, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm rocking out and everything. I like track 1 more, but like this song relies much more on that riff than they do with like.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, so there's bands that their sort of chorus is just saying like one line of dialogue or one word or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not like a fleshed out like
The
chorus.
song would be called like Beast of the Night, and then the chorus is like Beast of the Night, Beast of the Night, Beast of the Night. Are you hearing that?
I know.
You know, like Beast of the Night, where are you? It's just like that's just how like early '80s metal sounds. You know, like
yeah. But they really rely on just kind of that rocking out, you know, kind of guitar riff. So it's a great song. I like it, but it's just not as like. I mean, I just really like Upon the Grave of Guilt. What can I say?
Yeah.
So.
And I think I'm a bigger fan also of the faster kind of stuff, you know? The faster, more so than, this is a band that like has mid-pace songs along with some fast songs, you know?
Right.
And I think I enjoy the faster stuff more.
Yeah, you guys are speed freaks for sure.
Yeah, that's true. We really are.
Speed freaks.
And not every, like other folks that love like doom metal and stuff, they love something that's slow and chunky and like riffy and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And I just never was that kind of person, but yeah.
We're like the guy who's like.
Yeah, we're the ones that I was the one that would listen to freaking like
virtuosic stuff.
Yeah, just the faster song like Damage Incorporated. I'd be listening to that song all the time on Massive, way more than the Thing That Should Not Be or Leper Messiah. Leper Messiah and stuff. I'd be like, that's cool, but and then I'm like, Disposable Heroes. I like Dyer's Eve. Like I always just loved the faster. Solo-y kind of metal and stuff. Not saying mid-pace stuff is like, there's plenty of mid-pace, and it's still cool, it's still awesome,
Right.
But anyways, that's just some of my personal bias in there, as far as what I enjoy.
Well, personal preference.
Personal preference,
yeah. And it's funny because I've been thinking like, man, I want to do there's a lot of power metal albums that I want to do, and for whatever reason in the past week I was like, I kind of want to do some Falconer just to have a good time with it, Not that I'm like, oh man, so underrated. You guys need, because I feel like Falconer is the band that the people that already know it already love it, and the people that aren't in it by now aren't really going to get into it.
Except Brandon.
Shout out to Brandon. He'll probably get into Falconer. But, so I don't know. It's kind of one of those bands that I feel like you kind of like it or you don't. Like I don't know if there's much convincing people like, dude, just listen to it. Like more, you'll get it. You'll get it. It's
not like prog metal bands where like the more you listen to it, the more you're kind of like, okay, all of these different parts are like really cool, and it takes a long time. It really is kind of. I feel like it's like Hammerfall with folk. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's just it knows what it's doing. It's doing it.
Yeah. Straight
and
up.
It's straight up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we move on to Wings of Serenity?
Yep. Let's do it, man.
All right. Here is track 3, Wings of Serenity. About eagles and stuff.
the Stradivarius outro. I know. Yeah, you know.
For reals. So it's my turn to begin with this one.
Yes, it is.
I do really like this song. A lot of Falconer's songs sometimes feel a little bit straight up for me. So like I wish there was like more or something, you know. But I mean, it's still a great song. And I really like the chorus. The verse sections don't do as much for me though. I think I'm gonna just give it 8.5. But I still really like it though. I think it's a great song.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. I do think the first 2 tracks are better. I like the chorus here. I like that waltzy 3/4 thing going on.
Yeah.
1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 and then 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. It's really easy for them to speed up and go quick and then slow it down. Dun, 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 dun. It sounds like. Anyways, Falconer does that a lot with their sound. You know, that sort of...
Tchaikovsky.
You know, like...
Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, you got something to say? No, but it's like... I don't know what else to call it, but it sounds a little bit like a pirate shindig, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, you know...
Yeah.
Like, it's not
almost
quite
like,
right.
It's like
a
they
little
use,
folksy.
Yeah, they use a lot of 3, 4, 6, 8 stuff. But they don't do it in the it could be a waltz, but it never seems like a waltz. If that makes sense.
Well, they got a song on like their 5th album like called Waltz of something. Like they know what they're doing, and I think
they know their waltzes.
They know their waltzes.
Right?
So they do this waltz sound, and it's just kind of cool that they combine the waltz slowness, but then in a power metal chorus. That's
Sort of
kind of
way.
different, you know. I like that.
That's true.
So I think the chorus is pretty cool, you know. But I do think the first 2 tracks are better because I think some of the transitions on the song might be a little rough, and I feel like some of the
moving mine to an 8. I think,
and I feel like some of the talking part could be a little more fleshed out. Like
it really hangs on the power of the chorus.
The power of the chorus.
Whereas track 2 had a little bit more interesting kind of like transitions
part.
and you know.
Yeah.
What do you give, Chad?
Yeah.
6.5 on that one, guys. I was kind of like...
Yeah. Just kind of along for the ride, but not really along for the ride.
just kind of there on that one. Like,
Yeah. Good, but nothing special.
Yeah.
Tolerable, but nothing special.
No, that's
not very good, but nothing special.
Kind of bad, but not really.
Hey, I didn't give it a 5. I didn't give it a 5, right?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Something there.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah. I also feel like I know what power metal stuff you're gonna like a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's bands like I'm like, dude, I know Savage Circus. It'll be Lost Horizon,
Blind Guardian, all
like,
those.
There's this area of power metal that I know you're gonna like, but I'm like, dude, but I don't want to just play all that power metal. I want to play all the other power metal too. I don't expect you to be like a full-fledged Falconer fan after tonight. Although it'd be kind of cool if you were. But yeah. So
don't worry. I mean, you guys are for some dystopia, some ghouls.
I'm looking forward to Ghoul more because you played Splatter Thrash around me, but then I listened to Splatter Thrash on my own one time.
Yeah.
So I'm looking more forward to Ghoul than I am Dystopia.
Kevin, you'll love Dystopia. You'll love it.
I'm just not big on the sludge and the all that stuff.
DIY just sounds horrible.
I kind of can't wait for doing those kinds of albums too, just because it would be a discussion.
It's gonna be a discussion, all right.
Like instead of doing like stuff that's more a safe pick, like Manticora, Darkade, those are safe picks for all of us. All of us are just like, this is so awesome. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I want Kevin or me or you to pick something that the other two like maybe aren't as, and then just
like some of my picks, I'm gonna pick something and I'm gonna be the one that's like, and then you guys are gonna
be like, it's just, I think those are gonna be fun, but I'm cool with some crowd favorites. Those too.
Right. Exactly. I just, you guys should probably pick more crowd favorites. No, I'm just playing. Yeah.
Alrighty. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here is A Quest for the Crown. This one's folky as heck.
Yeah.
This is like feudal music,
This is like freaking Monty Python and
yeah, some Robin Hood. Yeah. I feel like you have to be from Europe to make European 17th century music. I don't know.
Yeah.
15th century. I don't know. I don't even know.
There's some kind of folk stuff like that.
I don't know why this song is freaking fun. It's just a fun song, you know? I don't know. They're at their wits' end. They're even looking at Chris Boss, you know? Oh no.
Like playing like a loop crap.
I know. Yo, he's lubing it up. Yeah, yeah. Very bardy.
What could it be if not the king's sound?
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, that
What's your
song,
pick, Kevin?
I'll give it a 7.5. I enjoy it like in the context of the album, but it's not really a song that I like go to and I'll, dude, you gotta hear
Yeah.
Quest for the Crown. I mean, it's the kind of song that like you show to someone, they'll be like, wasn't this on like Monty Python or something? Like, you know, it's too Renaissance-y, like, you know, when
Yeah.
people do Renaissance fairs and stuff,
Yeah.
like it's very much like that, you know, and
Like,
it's
yeah, if you went to the ferry, everybody would be dressed up and they'd be
yeah,
playing this.
right, exactly. Like it
Pretty
just,
much.
It's
you know,
kinda-
it's
yeah.
not bad. It's just, you know, it's just not my favorite on the album.
What do
Yeah,
you give it, Chad?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 5 on that one.
just kind of average.
Yeah, just kind of there for me. Like
Yeah.
there are some fun parts, of course, but not enough for me to like ever listen to it on my own, I guess.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I feel like the first three are definitely better. I was thinking about giving it a 7. I wonder if I'll give it a 6.5 though. I think it's a good song, and it's a song that sometimes gets stuck in my head. But man, it's just I don't know, it just doesn't have much to it that really gets me. Yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna give it a 6.5. It's a good song, but it's not anything that'll blow anybody's mind. But it's still good though. You know, still good.
In the context of the album, like I enjoy it, but it's just not.
Yeah. The first 3 are just much better.
I'll put mine at 7. Yeah, I think that's more representative of how I really feel about the song. Yeah, you know, it's
But the end score, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm not the king's crown.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Mind Traveler.
Here's Mind Traveler, and this is one of the earliest ones I ever heard too.
Yeah.
So I really like this one.
I like this
So
one
here,
too.
I like another 10.
This one might be another 10. Yeah, I like it.
one.
It has this nice giddy up fast bit that I just freaking love. I don't know. It's just cool. Here is Mind Traveler.
like my holy spells. Gazing into my mind.
I kind of like that choir back in the day.
A secret to unfold. I am the mind traveler. My secret, holy spells. Holy wisdom of the elderly. Gazing into my mind. Entering my soul. Is there not a secret to unfold? I am the mind traveler. My quest is my destiny. Teach me secret holy spells and the wisdom of the elderly. Gazing into my mind, entering my soul. Is there not a secret to unfold? Gazing into my mind, entering my soul. Here I am, priceless to be
All right, Chad.
Right.
All right, Chad. What you thinking?
I was really digging the solo, and I don't know, like, of course, like, they go fast part, but like, what? I don't know, like, there's a Bloodbath song where like they really just start picking up, and like when they hit the drum, like it's just like, I didn't get that from that, but like seeing you act it out, it reminded me of that. But I don't know for that one.
Also, not as good as Bloodbath. I think what you're really asking is, what's a mind traveler?
No, like I was digging it till that one part happened. Like,
Oh, the echo.
yeah. It just was kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time. Like, I'm glad they did it. I did have fun with that one. There was some stuff that went on for a little bit too long, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with an 8 on that one.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm probably going to give that one, I don't know. I think I might go a 9.5. There's some parts that I feel like could go on a little bit too long, but I love that freaking chorus. I love that chorus. Every time he goes, gazing into my mind, and they're just like, just rocking out. It feels very free. It's just going for it. And I like the kind of lead guitar stuff. But yeah, I think I'm just going to go with 9.5. I don't got to defend myself.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5 because it's a mind traveler. You know,
It's a mind traveler.
You know, what else do I say?
What do you guys want from me?
What do you want from me? Every single like review we do, we're just like, I'm giving this, so what?
Right.
Jeez, like,
We're reviewing this album, but you're not gonna get no explanation.
you ain't getting no explanation. We don't owe you nothing.
Well, I think that solo part might be my favorite solo on the album so far.
That solo is good.
I like the way, like, I like it when when a guitar player is doing a solo and he flirts with the sort of main melody, and he'll do something like, instead of doing the main melody, he'll be in the same what do you call it, like the same key or whatever, and then they'll flirt around that melody, but he won't do it. And then when he goes back into the main melody after soloing out, then it's like, oh yeah, you know. I like that. I just felt like the section where it's just like, I felt like that part after the solo could have been shortened a bit, because they just kept on, and it was just like, yeah, okay, and then
They're just like, yeah, man, we're doing this.
I don't think it's a 10, but 9.5. I really like that song.
Yeah,
It's pretty dope.
Are you guys ready for Entering Eternity?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here goes. Track 6. That bass.
A lot of these like melodies, they just kind of imitate the way they kind of jump
one of those songs that you never remember until you listen to it on the album. Yeah. You know, a little sleeper song.
New dimensions open for me as I reach my final horizon, entering the world of the spirits, dwelling on the shadows night of the living world. I am entering eternity. I'm holding a new day. My future waits for me to take me far away. I am opening realities never known before. Here will my soul find me forevermore. I'll be the soul of the wild,
Forgot about this section.
Yeah.
blowing wind, or the mystic lake. I'll be the beast as the hunted wolf, or the prey as the hunted high. I'll be riding rays of light, or lurking in the night shade.
Here's like the froggy section. Okay? So, get wild.
This part reminds me of a video game. You like you're punching out people like you get. You know? Reminds me of that. I kind of like how they made it more epic with like the bell sounds.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I am entering eternity, unfolding a new day. My future waits for me to take me far away. I am opening realities never known before. Here will my soul find me forevermore. I am entering eternity, unfolding a new day. My future waits for me to take me far away. I am opening realities never known before. Here will my soul find me
Sing it all. Yeah, I like his voice. I think he's got a really good voice.
Yeah. Agreed.
The thing is he's not like, he doesn't seem like a traditional metal singer. Like, he's never like, yeah, you know, he's never, he never does, or he never does like some high scream, or, you know, he's never like,
He's just singing, man.
he's just singing, you know. But I feel like that gives them a little bit character. If he was just like a Rob Halford knockoff in this band, I don't think they would be as good, you know? Like, I think it would just be like a little too safe, a little too normal, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like he gives Falconer, I think I start with this song, huh?
Yeah.
He gives Falconer, I'm going to keep going. He gives Falconer just so much identity, you know? And I really like that. That song is one that I always enjoy when I hear it, but it's never like a favorite of mine. I'm thinking like a 7 out of 10, you know? It's a great song, but... And I do like some of it, like when they're going to that last chorus and like the bells were ringing and stuff. It did feel like an epic closer to the song. Like, it was cool, you know. But man, a part of me just, I don't know if I want to give it higher than a 7. I don't know. What do you say, Ken?
I'm going to give it an 8 because I feel like this song is similar to track 3 for me, where I feel like there's some like glaring problems with the song, but then it's also got some awesome highs and some awesome moments where I'm just like, I like that solo section, the way they're just kind of doing a quick little, you know, and then kind of slowing down, then picking up, and like they really changed up their tempo back and forth, and that was kind of cool to hear it, you know, pick up, slow down, you know. I feel like this song is probably like the most complicated song that so far on the album. But I just feel like the talking part is a bit of like a rehash of some of their other songs. And one of the worst things that popped in my head was like, this song is average. And I'm like, man, average is not what you want to be going for. You know, but then like right when the solo section and everything kicked off and everything, like I was just like, okay, yeah, I like what they're going for. Yeah. You know, it's a cool song. I liked it. So I felt like in the first half I was a little disappointed, but then it started picking up and I was just like, this is a good song. So I'll give it an A. It's like Wings of Serenity, where it's like I like it a lot, but there's some flaws with it, you know.
I like Wings of Serenity more.
Yeah.
I actually like this better than Wings of Serenity.
What do you give it, Chad?
I'm gonna go with a 7 on that one. Like nothing super memorable for me, but it was still good. I know there was moments where I was digging it, but or maybe I don't need to give it a 7.
I feel like this song was also kind of the riffiest, similar to track 2. I mean, but it was a little more
mid-paced too.
A little more mid-play paced, a little more like.
We're giving it a 10.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a cool song. You know?
It is a cool song.
It's just there's parts of it that are just a little bit average, but then there's also some excellent parts.
Yeah.
So
mixed bag.
Mixed bag. You know? It's a mixed bag.
It's mixed bag, but the bad isn't so far enough to drag it down to like a 5.
Like a 5. Yeah, exactly. It's just
still,
minor gripes.
Still a great song. Yeah.
So what'd you give it, Chad?
7.
7? Okay. Sounds good.
Guys ready for Royal Galley?
Yep.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Some ship songs.
This guy loves his ride cymbal. Oh yeah, you hear that ride all the time. don't they? Like on that second album.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like, ah, come on, guys. Come on, guys. That's a way to end a song.
Yes,
that's a way, you know.
Oh, it's kind of cool, you know, going down into the deep, you know, being lost at sea, you know, down.
Oops.
Oh, snap. You messed up, Ian.
I messed up. Gosh, dang it.
Oh, man, so this song, I'm gonna...
Sure too.
Yeah.
I feel like this song is like a very safe song. It's a very safe power metal song. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because it's I feel like they're not doing something like really awesome with it. Like my favorite part of the song is probably when he's like, "Work harder, faithful crew, or you will do, you know, no such more," or whatever. Yeah. You know, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but just, you know, Royal Galley lost to sea. Whoa, it's very simple, straightforward, not bad or anything. It's just, it's just 7.5 for me.
Yeah.
So,
Who do you get, Chad?
I feel like I'm always a broken record on some of these picks, dude. Like, I was digging some of the riffs. Solo was good, but yeah, as far as like the song as a whole, it just didn't really do much for me.
Yeah.
It's just getting a little bored. Probably a 6 on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's understandable.
Better than average, but like
not much.
Yeah, I give it a 6.5. It does feel like the most normal song, like not a lot to offer for it, you know.
Mm.
It's still fun, you know. But yeah, not much to say. Yeah. One of my least favorites.
Royal Gallery. I'm glad that it was only like 4 minutes and like 12 seconds or whatever.
Thank
you know, if they dragged it out to like a 6-minute song and kept beating it in your head,
going on about
Royal Gallery lost at sea, I'd be like, oh yeah, we're doing this for like the 10th time. Like, you know,
it's still a good song.
Yeah,
you know?
so just kind of straightforward. So nothing wrong with that. You know?
Should we go with number 8, Substitutional World?
Yep, let's do it.
It's hard when those old bands with so many riffs. It's hard to, you know, it's like they really set the stage for the future. I thought this could be a riff from like Battle expecting it to sound all beautiful for a second, you know? It's just like, here we go.
Too long into the sun, forgot the rest of the sky. Don't let the gambler lead astray. The truth is living further away. Take a good look up to the sky and tell me what you see. It's another sun amongst the clouds. Then where else could it be?
For it being that long of a song, I was going to be like, oh man, what's going to happen? But it did keep me engaged, but I think I might be getting a little fatigued in, guys. But
yeah.
I definitely, what's my highest score so far?
It looks like an 8.
8, yeah.
Yeah, track 2 and track 5 got 8s for you.
Yeah, this, I think, man, Let's give this one 8.
So one of your favorites.
Yeah, I can see myself listening to it again.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling a little bit fatigued as well. This is a song where like I don't really like care as much for the like chorus and the verse sections, but that middle bit of the song is so damn good that I'm just like, man, like this.
It's got the most beautiful parts in the whole freaking album.
Yeah, like it's just like that little quiet part, and then that part when he's like, "Who are you to play?"
Yeah,
you know, I'm just like, man, this is cool.
You rises, the deeper you will fall. Who are you to personate God? Who are you to know it all?
Yeah, I like that. I think I'm gonna give it a 7. I think it's on par with some other like Entering Eternity for me. Yeah, it's a really hard one to judge. It is a little bit long, and there's some parts that go on for a little too long for me. But I also raised my scores for number 2 and 3 up to 8.5s for those. I like those, like comparing those with these, you know, like but yeah, I think this one's probably 7 for me. What do you think?
This song, I'm gonna give it an 8 as well because like that moment and everything, it's got some really beautiful moments on this song. I like the way it ends out. You know, ding, 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 ding. It's a cool song. I just wish that maybe during the talking part and kind of the riffs that they chosen, I wish they stood out a little more. You know what I mean? Because I felt like if it had a strong riff like track 2. And then it had like the verses and choruses and things. I feel like it'd be a much stronger song. Yeah. But it's like it's just I'm glad that I feel like some of these songs on this album are a little gutsy, you know? And so I'm kind of like I like that they tried this or tried that or whatever, you know? But yeah, Substitutional World is like, it's always that song that when it starts, I'm always like, why did I like this song again? And then when it ends, I'm like, what a great song. Yeah, what a fan, you know? It just, I don't know, man. I always leave Substitutional World feeling like, man, I like Substitutional World. And then when I start listening to it again, I'm like, wait, why? Why do I like this song? You know? And it just, I don't know.
And then they're like, let me show you.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Listen to this.
Yeah. It just had some cool moments, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we move on to Lord of the Blacksmiths?
Yep. Yeah, we've got 2 songs left. We're not doing the bonus track. Ian and I, we were debating. We were trying to...
Yeah, why are you leaving out the bonus track? Usually that's something you guys, we sneak in there.
Should we talk a little bit about, like, bonus tracks and kind of, like, our why we do bonus tracks? Stuff? Yeah, because there's... one of the things is, like, for bonus tracks, if it's, like, a cover song, like, if it's not part of the context of the album...
Of the
it's
original album?
Like, track 3 for So Far So Good So What. Like, that'd be in the context of that Megadeth album, you know? Even though it's like Sex Pistols song. So we would do something like that. But like something like Beast in Black. Like the songs at the end or something. Yeah. Like Killed by Death, we wouldn't do something like that because it's the bonus. Well, because it's like, but it's a cover song. So we normally like to do bonus tracks that are like
original songs.
And
this one's like an 19th century kind of like folk song, like a Swedish folk song. So it's kind of like, we were debating. It's almost like it's such an old song. It's like a traditional kind of song, or I don't know. It didn't quite 100% feel like a cover, but at the same time, I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, you
could check it out.
Check it out on your own.
To it,
but
we're not gonna rate it, and
So
that's why
it got knocked off because of being a cover song, basically.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah. Let's go into Lord of the Blacksmiths.
All right, here's Lord of the Blacksmiths. I like this one.
Heavy metal. There it is. There it is.
Solitude, harmony to the mountain.
bass. Yeah, that bass is cool. Alrighty. So I think that's my turn to start. Yeah, I like that song. I do like how in that last chorus they have the little banging on the anvil or whatever.
Right.
So I think that just sounds kind of cool. I like the chorus. Yeah, I think it's a great song. I think I'm going to give it a 7.5. Yeah, great song. It doesn't reach like the highs of some of the earlier songs for me, but it's still a great song.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5. It's kind of one of those songs that it's like my 4th or 5th favorite on the album. Like, it's not my highest rated, but I like that song. It's enjoyable. It's got some heavy metal, crunchy guitar stuff going, you know. And I like the bass, you know. The long, you know. I think that's kind of cool. I didn't notice that before, but cool, this time listening to it, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So yeah, it just, I do think that this album probably suffers a little bit from like
I'm bringing Quest for the Crown up. That one's gonna
I feel like this album maybe suffers for some people because like some of the songs have very similar sounding sections, you know what I mean? Like the variation, this isn't one of those albums where all of the songs are so different from each other. It's all pretty Falconer sounding, you know what I mean? So for people that love the sound, they're like more, you know, but it's a straightforward album, but yeah, there's not much more to add, but yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with a 7 on that one. I don't know, I really like the heavy metal vibes, and anything with heavy metal vibes I think I'm gonna like. Yeah. Like I don't love, but you know, I like it. I like it.
I don't love it. I like it.
But I don't have much else to add. Just like I don't know, anything riff driven, like riffs always just like really grab my attention, and there's some cool riffs. And
you know, she's like the first girl that I've like dated. Yeah,
Nancy was the first
girl that I like married.
I like that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
it was important.
No, but yeah, it's, you know, straightforward song. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys ready for the last track? The Pasta Lives On?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Got a little toasty in here, fellas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's because of our body heat.
Here I walk on pathways so old, travelers of yesterday I still behold. Hearken to the waves caressing the shore. Oh, how much land have they seen before? Oh, mountain great, how much you must know. So tell me stories from ages ago. Oh, vast sea, who should sail them on? Why did they sail and where are they gone? Behold the traces of history. Open your eyes and you'll see that all across the land lies secrets to be revealed. The past still lives
That part's cool.
Lost mariners who still sail the seas, who are your children you no more would see. Earth, wind and water and burning sun, bring me back to when we lived as one. Oh, mountain great, how much you must know. So tell me stories from ages ago. Oh, vast sea, who ships sailed upon? Why did they sail and where are they gone? Behold the traces of history. Open your eyes and you'll see that all across the land lies secrets to be revealed. Behold the traces of history. Open your eyes and you'll see that all across the land lies secrets to be revealed. The past still lives
Just as I suspected, they are going to fade out.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. I figured it out.
Pretty dope.
This is your song to.
Yeah, I think that's a great closer. You know, I like that song as being like the last song on the album. It
like, sums it up well.
Yeah, it just sums things up really well. What do I give it though? Now that's the question. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9. I like this one about as much as like track 2. It's like my probably my fourth favorite on the album. Third or fourth. I like Upon the Grave of Guilt. I like Mind Traveler probably the most, but Heresy in Disguise and this one are probably my number 3 and 4 picks, you know. Yeah, great song. It just, yeah. I remember when I heard this, like, sometimes, like, I had heard this song a lot, but there was one day, like, it clicked for me. And then I was just like, oh, yeah, the past still lives on. Oh, yeah, you know. And, yeah, it's just an enjoyable song for me, so, yeah.
What do you give it, Chad?
You guys were, Kevin was talking it up there a little bit.
Just a little. Got to bring him down a little bit.
Yeah. You're a little too big for your britches there, buddy. And knock you off.
I still lose.
Dang, I will give it was a good closer, I guess, like fitting in like the theme of the album and stuff they were singing about. But like musically, I don't know, I think I'm just a little fatigued also. Like I don't want to give it too low. Let's say 6.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I give it an 8. I'm going to add up the scores pretty soon. I do like it. I think it's a great closer, and I think it's the most sentimental sounding song in a way.
Yeah.
Just the way the slow acoustic kind of sound goes after every chorus or whatever. That's really cool. It's not the strongest song. I still like Grave, Heresy, Wings, and Mind Traveler more, but this is probably kind of like after those. You know, I think it's a great song still. I'm going to just add up the scores real quick. And I guess I could, you know, you guys kind of say whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm going to add up scores.
I'll kind of close out the video and everything. But Chad, what do you think of this whole kind of experience?
I don't know, like power metal's definitely not like a metal genre I've like really ever like dove deep into, and I've heard it from you guys a lot. And yeah, besides some of those bands you guys named towards the beginning, like I don't think it's like one of those genres I'm really just gonna like dive deep into. But I do think there's gonna be like those gems and those like top tier bands where I'm like, oh dude, these are sick. I'm willing to get albums, I'm willing to invest time into them. And like of course I like the heavy metal vibes. I think the voice sometimes is like something I have to get used to, which is funny because it's like all the crap I listen to is all guttural and freaking burpy vocals and Cookie Monster crap. Like, I think most people are like, well, that crap sucks. But and I don't think this sucks. I guess it's just not something I'm quite used to yet. Or I don't know, what kind of drags you into like this type of singing? Like having this dude like do like opera on stage singing and then like jumping into metal with it.
Well, I mean, this was easy to click for me, and I think I can speak for Ian as well. It clicked for us because, I mean, dude, we grew up with Moody Blues. We grew up with Boston. We grew up with a lot of clean vocals. For me, I had to get used to guttural vocals, you know. It wasn't like the other way around where I had to get used to clean vocals, you know. I think, like, you got into guttural vocals at a real young age. That was like the norm. Like the cleanest vocals you would get would be like Megadeth, Metallica. You know, like that would be like clean.
That's the cleanest.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I still listen to like Maiden and Dio and Journey in Boston from my dad, but it like
that's true. It
wasn't like when I grabbed Megadeth CDs out of my dad's collection and just like listened to the crap out of it.
Right.
I was mostly hearing a song here or there from those other bands, so maybe that.
Did you ever like because I think like you didn't mind listening to that stuff like on the radio and stuff, but did you ever put on a Boston CD yourself, or like, you know what I mean?
I did like a Kansas Greatest Hits or like stuff like that, but yeah.
Because I think Ian and we got really immersed into like all the classic rock sounds and whatnot, you know, at a young age. It's just. Yeah, I just think like guttural vocals and stuff are much more preferential for you. You know? And for me, like. I kind of view you getting into power metal is like you got to start with like the gem like albums. You know what I mean? Start off with those albums. Like you don't have to get into a full, you know, I got to get into all of Halloween or I got to get into all of Blind Guardian. Just start with that one album or whatever. Get to know it like really well, and then if you're like, I need more of this, then branch out.
Some more.
And I think we talked about it a little bit on the last video where I was like, for death metal for me, it was like. I didn't really consider myself a huge death metal fan when I only liked like 3 death metal albums or something, you know. But then
you like more than that.
Well, now I do. But starting out, like
the time.
Starting out, like dude, I could only get into like a few albums, but then it grew, and then it was like, oh yeah, more Principium In Flames, or whatever. Like it branched out from there. I'm still not the biggest death metal fan, but now it's like, for a band, it's like, oh yeah, I like 3 or 4 of their albums, not just one album,
Oh, okay.
And so I think for power metal, it's like,
that might be the case for you.
Yeah.
For power metal.
Yeah. I don't see you ever being into power metal like Ian and I are into it.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's just
not, yeah.
like for me, I was like, I love like a lot of the first string, and I'm like, oh, I got to get into the second string. I got to get into the third string. When you're getting into bands in a genre that are like the second and third string bands for the genre, then you're really into that genre,
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
I think for you, it's like, because I still think Falconer is probably like some of the best like second stringer kind of band, like they got like 9 albums. Like,
they're a great band, but I still have like 10 or maybe more power metal bands that I like more. But I still like Falconer a lot,
Right, yeah. So I don't expect you to get into the second and third string bands, just take your time with it, there's no rush. So but it is nice, so because the viewers watching this, we've had so many talks with Chad about like Ian and I talking about how power metal like is metal and people don't give it its due, and then like there's a lot of heavy metal people that like Ian and I were like, dude, you would like this stuff or that stuff, but for whatever reason there are people that are turned off by the power metal label and maybe some of the lyrics, some of the tropes, so on and so forth. But you listen to like, especially like, I really like the 90s, early 2000s like power metal stuff, because to me I feel like it was still steeped into a lot of that Judas Priest stuff. It's still steeped into that heavy metal sound, but I don't know. I don't know. Power metal's been through its own kind of evolution over time too. So anyways, did I answer your question or
yeah, I guess what I was getting at is that like, I'm glad that I can listen to like all sorts of different genres and subgenres of metal and get into them. It's just some are going to be my favorite, and then some are just going to be a little bit here and there.
Same with me. Yeah.
Ian's the most all around guy. I'm like the prog power guy, and you're like the thrash death guy. So
that's fair.
I'd say it's fair.
So so pretty cool. Ian, what are the scores?
Alrighty, I know you guys have been waiting for this. So the score I gave this album was a 7.95.
Okay.
And Kevin gave it the highest score, 8.45. I gave it the second highest, 7.95. And Chad gave it the lowest with a 6.9. So the average score we give, average score we give the album is a 7.76. So nice. Pretty good score, pretty up there.
And it's funny because like I said, like I was trying to think of like power metal albums that I wanted to do, and I was just kind of like, dude, I want to do Falconer sometime, but it's not an album that I'm like I said, I feel like the people that are going to be into this are already into it. It's an album that I feel like is pretty respected in the power metal kind of community. But like, I kind of like Falconer. I just kind of wanted to have a night of just doing this album, having fun with it.
Yeah.
But I could have just have had fun with their second album or their sixth album, But, there's definitely some power metal albums that I'm going to get to, like I'll choose that are like higher for me. It's just that I'm rationing it out, I don't want to do all my favorites right away. I want to ration it out and do some variety and mix it up.
I agree. Because some of my favorite bands, I still haven't even done any albums for those bands yet. And that's fine, because some of them are a little bit more well-known, or some of the, I'm mostly focusing on stuff that I feel like people don't talk as much about. And I'm cool with doing Falconer because people don't talk about them as much as like some of the more famous bands and stuff. And I think Falconer is a really talented band. I think they've got a lot of good ideas, So, I think, I don't know if I have much to say about this album. I think this one's probably my favorite from them. I really like that fourth album because that one's pretty nostalgic, Grind vs. Grandeur. But I also really like Northwind a lot. Northwind and the one after it I think are pretty good. Among Beggars and Thieves. That one I haven't listened to a ton. I've only kind of heard it from you, but I know some songs I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then the second album's pretty good. I'm not really familiar with the third album all that much, and then everything, like Armad and all those 3 newer albums, I haven't really listened to those ones, so I can't really say much about those. But I mean, I like them. I think they're a good band, And I think for me, the biggest draw is the vocals. I really like the dude's voice, and that's probably the biggest draw of this band. Like when he's singing a freaking song like North Wind embrace me as I gaze on the horizon or whatever. Like he's just got this majestic freaking voice that is perfect for like, I don't know, this sort of folkloric like storyteller kind of vibe, I guess, you know, or this like reverential tone to the past or something. It's very majestic and kind of, I don't know. I don't even know how. I don't know how to even describe it. But I think it's just a really cool voice.
No, kind of what you said does kind of fit. Yeah, just majestic.
Yeah, very regal. That's the word I'm looking for. He's got a regal as fudge voice. Like his voice sounds like freaking royalty, you know. And I really like that, you know. Like a part of me kind of feels like his voice would be perfect in like Hammerfall and stuff. I love the Hammerfall singer and stuff. Right. But if you had him singing for Hammerfall, he would be perfect for that too.
Did he ever jump into any other metal bands or just Falconer?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure.
I know he like quit for a little bit, but then he came back. But I don't really know a whole lot.
Yeah.
Maybe just kind of stuck with Falconer.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Do you feel like this vocalist is kind of underrated? Because I never hear anyone really talk about him as like, you know, like top 10 favorite power metal vocalist. And Matthews Blatt is like nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I think he is kind of underrated. Because, well, and it's hard because it's a genre where it hinges on powerful vocalists. Right. You got fudging Hansi Kirsch, you know, you got Tony Kakko, freaking, you know, Roy Khan, like, you know, Fabio Leone.
Olaf Hayer,
like so many like amazing, and Michael Kiske is like fudging legendary. Yeah. So you have like all these legendary, dead guy singer, you know, like you know, Tobias Summit. Who else? Tar. You gotta name at least 10, or you're not a real metalhead. Yeah, but I agree. I think Mathias Blatt is underrated, like power metal vocalist. You know, I think if he did, I wonder if he did more projects and sang on more people's stuff. I wonder if he'd be bigger. You know. Ooh, Daniel Hyman. Nah. But anyways,
Lars Larson.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say. It was fun going through this album.
Yeah. I'll just finish my thoughts. I'm glad we went through this album. It's an enjoyable. I don't know what my favorite Falconer album is because I jump between 1, 2, and 6. I don't know, you know, but I do like this album. I think it's pretty solid. I don't think it's perfect, you know, but yeah, I really like this album. So
yeah,
I'll just wrap it up with, you know, thanks for watching, everybody, and this is Forgotten Legends of Sound. So we hope you have a, you know, pretty good day. So
and next pick is Chad. So
yeah, you got the next pick. So
yeah, cool. Take care.